My first glimpse of an IWC Ingenieur was on the wrist of a Mercedes F1 pit mechanic. I instantly knew that the industrialized case and clinically precise dial meant business. Now that IWC have revived the Ingenieur as a purer retro reissue with modern adjustments, this reference in titanium is truly the best of both worlds. Now we all know how revolutionary Genta's approach was when designing steel sports watches. After all, he did design for many brands. However, people usually overlook how different each of his design approaches really were. The modern iteration has a subtly rounded case with a prominent and brushed bezel. The 5 screws, which were usually decorative and near randomly placed on the 1976 model, are now functional and symmetrically placed to most people's delight. The case has been brought up to contemporary expectations in other ways too, with elongated lugs and a female end link that prevents it from looking too much like 70s futurism. And the overall softness of the edges has also been straightened up, leaning into a more precise and aggressive aesthetic. Crown guards have been added for extra protection against knocks and scrapes, promoting the idea that these watches can be worn by mechanics just as much as scientists. While the titanium case of this grey dialed reference keeps the watch light on the wrist, it's no less rugged than its steel counterparts. 100 metres of water resistance keeps it safe for swimming or washing off the workshop grease, and a soft iron inner shell protects the movement from strong magnetic fields. With a 40mm diameter, 45.7mm lug to lug, and 10.8mm high, it's also well suited to comfort on smaller and average wrists, going against any macho assumptions. Honouring the checkered texture of the 1976 model is a new grid dial for the IWC Ingenieur 40, and the lines have been gouged deeply for a high contrast effect. All of the necessary details for reading the time have been given bold black outlines for ease of legibility too. Powering the watch is the IWC caliber 32111 with a smooth 4Hz beat rate and a strong 120-hour power reserve. It's available now at IWC boutiques and IWC.com for 21,700 Australian dollars. What do you think of this version of the Ingenieur? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to see your thoughts. And if this video has hit the spot for you, hit subscribe. It makes a massive difference to the access of watches we get here at Time+Tide. I'll see you on the flip side.